So, we're going to be rocking Infect yet again to start the night, continuing the month-long infection. Let's see how Infect does now that Astrolabe is gone. It means that the control decks have gotten a little less greedy on mana base. We'll see how this turns out. Let's hop into a league. Wow. So many modern things. All right. Let's hope we can go 3-2 or better. There we go. So they won the die roll. They play first. We've got turn 3. Possibly turn 2. If they don't do anything. Okay, it's a bobble. So it's some Luris deck. They see what they're drawing, decide if they want it. This makes me think Devoted Devastation. They'll draw here. We will go Wooded Foothills, crack this for a breeding pool, shock it in, and then play out this Glistener Elf. Because next turn we can scale up plus Distortion Strike, hit him for 7. Okay, well that's just a Hierarch. So they have to have Path in hand? Okay, looks like they have the Path. Which is fine, because that'll give us the land, and then we can go Ink Moth into Blighted. Vines are creature. Yep, that is how that interaction works. I mean, I still swing for 6. You're either taking 6 or you're blocking. I'm assuming you're blocking with this Hierarch. Yep. So definitely Devoted Devastation with Luris. There's the Devoted Druid, which means we probably lose on the spot next turn. Especially when we keep ripping lands. Let's see if they're willing to block. I don't think we don't have any pump. When we've hit our land, we'll go ahead and pump. They fetch for a forest. They go to 5 poison counters and show me Vizier, and I concede. Well, Vizier plus win con because they have 2 cards in hand. So there's Vizier, or Eldamri's call for Vizier. It's Vizier, plays out Vizier. Yep, has infinite green mana. Okay, so they had it. Dismembers come in, spell pierces come out. That's it. I mean, we could bring in another spell scout here and board out. Board out become immense. Opponent's like, I was thinking about running some Infect. How's it felt? And I'm like, I don't know. Opponent's apologizing for vinesing our creature. I mean, that's exactly what he should do. I can't blame him for that. Pendlehaven Elf pass. Cracks a Windswept, gets a Temple Garden, shocks it in. As Giver. Okay. I'm kind of not opposed here to just dropping Ink Moth, giving our Glistener Elf +1/+2, and swinging. Because our other option... I mean, this forces him to have interaction. Distortion Strike. Might of Old. In combat, swing for 6. As Pav, yep. Gladly say yes, get this forest. Them having to Pav that turn, pretty good for us. Problem is now this Distortion Strike comes off and we don't have any targets. We can go Inkmoth Nexus and pass the turn. Our out now is... So if they have Vizier next turn, we need like Dismember to kill the bird. We're drawing Mutagenic. I mean, I know that they block this, so... So we could Vines their bird in response. I don't know what that would buy us. Let's find out. And so if they have the Eldameries, we lose. Or Cord for 2. Finale for 2 goes and gets Vizier, has untap for forever. And just show me a win con. You've got 2 in hand. I just need to see a win con. I'm assuming they have it, or else they wouldn't be doing this. $18, $19, $20. They're pumping 20 into it. Well, that's a fun way to start off the night, losing to Devoted combo. Not surprised. That's a matchup of, do we draw removal or do they have removal? Sadly, they had removal. Because, like, we can't Vines anything of theirs in response to that. The fact that they had double Finale is pretty impressive. But, well, I should say double Finale, birds to block, and path to remove our creature. That series of events is very unfortunate for us. All right, here we go. Onwards to match 2. I would love to take the play. And got a threat. Hands got some pump. Hands. It's not the greatest hand in the world, but it's not terrible. So we can lead off with this Windswept Heath and pass the turn. If they do anything that we don't like on turn 1, we can Spell Pierce it. Scalding Tarn. We'll go ahead and keep the fetch land. Okay. That shock it in. Let's go ahead and get a basic forest here in case they're a Blood Moon style deck. Sorry, we're not cut off from green. Problem is, this could also be a Bolt style deck, and now they can Bolt or Blighted Agent, no problem. But we can't really afford to not take this risk. Blood Crypt shocks it in, so they have the push or the bolt. Cycle's Forgotten Cave. Dredge? Okay. We're okay with this Dredge matchup. Cathartic Reunion. That feels bad. So they get to dredge once off this imp. And then hit a thug. And then they have Conflagrate. Okay, so nothing came out of their yard. We need a mutagenic off the top here. And Glistener Elf is pretty interesting. So let's go with this Landfall Groundswell. Just hit for 4. And then we can hold up Spell Pierce. They go to 5 Infect. They can try to Conflag us with the 8 in hand. So land here gets back Blood Gas, which will get back those prized amalgams. Yep. Always yield the prized amalgam. Assuming this is it's either Conflag or Ox. I'm assuming it's Conflag. He's going to try to kill our creature. That's what I'd be doing if I was the Dredge player. Spell Pierce it. Thanks for ditching your hand, bud. And those will enter. Take it. There we go. Got game 1 versus Dredge. We're facing Dredge. Spell Pierce is pretty mediocre. But Dismember doesn't do much. Weather the Storm, maybe? They don't have lots of... I mean, they're going to bring in targeted removal, so we'll bring in another Spellskite. Their targeted removal's red, so Veil's not good. Might just be this. Yeah, we don't want Mystical Disputes. We don't really want Dismembers. Veils are meh. Goyfs don't do a heck of a whole lot in this matchup because they have lots of blockers. Force of Vigors, they have a couple of artifacts, but not a lot. So we'll just cut our Delve thing because they don't run Chalice. Hand's got a threat. Hand's got a second threat. This hand's got everything we could possibly want. Especially if they lead off with just that. We will go Waterlogged Grove into Glistener Elf. Bait out removal. Let's see if they've got the Dark Blasts. The card is absolutely nuts against us. Interesting. So now we have groundswell here. And combat swing for 5. If this gets to connect, then we go second Glistener Elf. Neat, it did connect. Get this basic forest just in case. Then second Glistener. And pass the turn. Blood Crypt into play tapped. Opponent's at 5 Infect, and we've got another +4. They kind of sort of need removal at this point. That's a Cathartic Reunion. Pitches Bloodghast and Prized Amalgam. Interesting pitches. Trying to find removal is my guess. Ooh. That seals the deal. Scale it up. City of Brass taps. Going for this lightning axe. There we go. And that's why I'm not currently packing Graveyard Hate, because it's mainly a race versus dredge and hoping that we have answers to their answers. And so even there, if this was just a +4 instead, we'd go, okay, Axe resolves on that one, pump the other one, get in. But hey, there we go. Infect doing Infect things. Feels about right. There we go. Found ourselves another match. Let's go to match number 3. Man, that's pretty quick. 2 matches in 30 minutes. Yeah. Like, I don't know a world where this isn't a keep. I guess if they're hand disruption deck or Jund. But in the blind, we don't know what they're on, so it's always a keep. But Breeding Pool, shock it in, Hierarch, pass turn. Interesting that they didn't crack their Bloodstained Mire. So we could play out this Blighted Agent and hold up. I like that. Blighted Agent and hold up protection with either Vines or Blossoming. So this is a Bloodstained Mire, fetching, grabbing, probably Mountain. Is this Gabos? Only thing I could think of. Brutality. Okay. That's pretty brutal. Mastermind. Oh. Okay. Takes a blossoming defense and a hierarch. Makes sense. Well, it doesn't take the hierarch. Kill the hierarch, I should specify. We'll drop out a hierarch here and pass the turn. This way, if they're a Blood Moon deck, we can go get a basic forest here. Bolts our hierarch. Show me more removal. No? Cool. Yes, that does bait out our vines. However, opponent's got 3 cards left in hand at this point. And there's why we don't care about baiting out the vines. Because those 2 pass turn. Yeah. We can swing for 1 here. Opponent goes to 18. We have animate, pump, pump. Land off the top will win us. Destroy all creatures, sure. Land off the top still wins us. This doesn't win us the game anymore. So we actually don't need to land off the top. Okay, we'll hold the Ink Moth. Actually, no. We'll play out the Ink Moth here. So that way we can groundswell this guy. Get in for 5, and then we have a Might of Old Crow, to get in for another 5. Opponent's halfway dead. They need instant speed interaction that isn't... Well, could be Bolt. 2 cards in hand. Might of Old Crosa is all that we need. Tap 1, animate. Might of Old. Show me push. Destroy target artifact, creature, or planeswalker. Okay. I'm gonna float a mana. Opponent's got 1 card left in hand. So they need yet another removal spell. I don't think that they're gonna have another removal spell here. So... Shocks in a Blood Crypt. Fetches. Are we dead to some combo that I'm completely unaware of here? 6 mana. Oh, wow. Okay. So we lose out on all of our lands. We're now in top deck mode. So So this is Black Red Death Cloud. Good to note. Croxa hits us. We lose 3 life. They're 1 mana away from being able to recur that. So we need land plus pump. That won't do it. Oh, technically speaking, we need land. And now they can Croxa next turn. That's unfortunate for us. Ouch. Yeah, brings back the Croxa. Then we have to discard. At this point, we discard Elf. Okay. We're not safe from 2 lands. Pretty sure we're dead. Because this gets in, we have to discard. We discard. They've got 2 cards in hand. We take 6. We go to 5. We're dead next turn. Unless we can animate this Inkmoth Nexus. At which point we're then on blocking duty with the Nexus. And we won't even be able to animate. Okay. Death Cloud. Veils are good because Death Cloud's a black spell. Spell Skite, they have lots of targeted removal. We can take out a Become Immense. Shave on of Vines and Scale Up. And then we've got 1 more to cut. We can cut a Distortion Strike. We can cut both Distortion Strikes. They don't have any early game creatures. Cut those, bring back in a Scale Up. Snap this off. Because again, this hand does everything that we could possibly want an Infect hand to do. It's got 2 threats, it's got 2 hierarchs, it's got a pump spell. We just need to draw another pump spell. If we can get that draw, we are in the clear. Assuming they don't have any hand interaction. Because our threat doesn't come down until turn 2. Waiting on opponent to decide if they want to keep their 7. That's on the wrong page, of course. Because why would it not? Okay, mulligan down to 6. Okay. They kept it 6. We do that. You. Pass turn. Interesting. It wasn't registering that I was in this window. Blood Crypt, shocks it in. What? Inquisitions us, sure. Can take either the pump spell or the blighted agent. Probably takes blighted agent here. Yep. We're fine with that because we have the Ink Moth Nexus as a backup threat. It's not nearly as good, but it's not that bad. Do that, get the Spellskite down and pass the turn. Broxa here hurts. Dot seizes us. Yep. Take that groundswell and run away. Gets to hold up Bolt. Ooh, what a draw. Animate. And give it +4/+4. Begin combat. Swing for 7 Infect. Opponent's at 7 Infect. And Field of Ruin gets to field our Ink Moth. Yep. Not something we get to redirect to a Spellskite. I mean, we still get in for Spellskite beats here. Normal damage is still a way for you to die, opponent. Pushes a Hierarch. So if we redirect to Spellskite, we then lose our protection. We'll let it hit a Hierarch. Because we have more outs via the Infect route than we do normal beatdown. Inquisitions us. Sure. Take the pump spell. Blossoming Defense is pretty good there. Swing with the Hierarch. So we could Blossoming Defense. I like holding Blossoming Defense here. Target player discards a card, destroy target artifact. I'll give it hexproof. Karn the Great Creator. Okay. Interesting. What do they go and get here? Because Bridge won't do it. Because we're swinging with O4s and O1s. They go and get a Bridge. Hmm. Well, let's go ahead and remove this Karn the Great Creator. It feels bad wasting a Vines doing so. But it gets Karn out of there, so they only got a bridge off of it. And we're constantly swinging with O stuff, which gets around bridge. There's a bridge. So at this point, we're looking at instant speed pump spells. Cool. We lose out on 2 damage there, but that's fine. Swing with the Hierarch Exalted trigger. Might have old Krosa. Change the target of push. Push kills our spell skite. We get in for 3, opponent's down to 10. Opponent can field us, which will destroy a land at this point. In all honesty, they should probably save it in case of Inkmoth Nexus. Mastermind's acquisition does not reveal. I mean, it's probably Death Cloud. I don't get why you wouldn't grab Death Cloud right now. Because he's in a position where, yeah, he can take 1 and then he gets to Death Cloud for 2. We'd be down to 1 land. Meaning what we want off the top here is Veil of Summer. Although I don't know if Death Cloud targets. Well, there's a mutagenic. Exalted trigger. And get it to 3. Opponent's down to 7. Fast turn. Death Cloud for 2. Torch of Defiance. That's not a bad one to have grabbed off of Mastermind's acquisition. That shoots our Hierarch, and now we're at the mercy of top deck. There's nothing we can draw. We can, however, go fetching for a Dryad Arbor here. Torch of Defiance exiles the top card of the library. It's a Bloodstained Mire. So we take 2. Polluted Delta, they're down to 0 cards. Night's going all right. We're currently 1-1. Gonna be battling it out, but it's a futile attempt, especially if we keep hitting running lands off the top. Opponent's down to 7, but we're at 13 and we can't really get past this bridge because we didn't see a Karn game 1 and then they had it game 2 to go grab a bridge, so we don't have our artifact disruption. I mean, I wish that was the case. Bolt. Interesting. So there goes our Dryad Arbor. Another Talisman. They could still crack this field. Well, there's their Field of the Dead, or Field of Ruin target. Be right back. Sorry, I don't have a lurk command, but I appreciate the lurk, man. I should add one, though. That is not a bad idea. So at this point, we're just going to be dying to this Chandra Torch of Defiance. There's nothing that we can really draw. Bolt's going to hit us, because that's 1 more damage. And opponents just got lands, so they're just going to be black-red control. Yeah. We'll go ahead and concede. There's nothing we can draw at this point. Because we play Glistener Elf, if they shoot it, it doesn't matter. Yep. Okay. We are X and 2 for the night, and so that means that we need to win out to get our money back. We don't need to get our money back, but it'd be nice. All right, there we go. Onwards to match number 4. I won the die roll. We will gladly take the play. Hands got a threat, hands got a threat, hands got a pump, and Distortion Strike. This is always a keep. They went down to 6. Okay, they stayed at 6. We will fetch and shock and play down this Glistener Elf and pass the turn. There's nothing we could draw off the top of this to win on turn 2, but getting the Glistener Elf down as soon as we can kind of forces them to have answers. And we get to see if they're an answer type deck or if it's an interactive deck. So it's another Dredge deck. We've got a pretty good matchup versus Dredge. Especially with top decks like that. So if we go Kicked Vines, get in for 5, and then this is 4. So we need 2 more turns. Odds are against Dredge we'll get that. so there's an arid mesa. Hopefully they don't have the lightning axe. If they do, we've got double threat to back up. Fetch and shock, probably cathartic reunion here. Life from the loam. That's real good for us. Pump spell off the top wins it. Spell pierce is not a pump spell. But is it one that we want to utilize? We'll go ahead and get in for this 3, take them to 8, and then go with Blighted Agent as our play. And so we just have a wide threat, and they have to be able to block in the air, and kill an unblockable, and deal with a Listener Elf. How's it going, Mr. Wheels? How'd your stream end up? It's a creeping chill. Opponent needs to deal with all 3 of these. I watched through the entire control story. That was awesome, dude. I'm still so confused as to what Polaris is. Hey, thank you very much for the resub, man. But how'd your ballin' with the bros go? You guys win more than you lose? Stinkweed imp. Yeah, at the start of the game, there's a voice in her head. You turn out to be the voice, which is Polaris. When it's tad negative. I mean, as long as you had fun and it's only slightly negative, right? Okay. And that'll win it. Arc off the top. Go with the can't be blocked swing for 2. Ah. What do we do versus the last dredge match? Okay, yeah. So, meaning that the end game might explain it more, but not necessarily. So that can come out. I guess that can come out. This can come in. Veils don't... Yeah, the removal's mainly red. So veils don't do a lot. We could bring in Goyce, but that's not what we want to be doing. Yeah, we did kind of leave him there looking at that fridge. Whatever happened to his shift replacement, though? So I dislike keeping this, but we still keep it because it's 2 protection spells, 2 pump spells, and a blighted agent. We will go with a tapped breeding pool and pass the turn. Opponent seems to have kept a very reactionary hand here, which is great for us. And so this Spellskite might eat an axe here. I'm assuming it does. Yep. They don't have any dredge in their sideboard or in their graveyard yet. Inkmoth Nexus is great there. They've got 2 cards left in hand. Let's go ahead and play out this Hierarch. Because we can crack this Waterlogged Grove, draw an additional card. Okay. And so we've got lots of pump. We just need to keep this Blighted Agent alive. Which we should be able to do relatively easily here. Considering our opponent has 3 cards in hand. And 2 cards in hand. Land off the top will do it for us. That is not a land off the top. So we can Might of Old, hit for 6, hold up Blossoming Defense. Yeah, that's the play. Hit opponent for 6 here, and then next turn we hit for 4. Unless they have double removal. Lightning Axe is the Hierarch. Opponent's now got 1 card. Can't pitch to a... There we go. So let's just see what we would draw. We would draw a Distortion Strike. Our game plan at this point would be give it +2/+2 and hexproof. At which point they then could try to Lightning Axe if they didn't try to Lightning Axe our Hierarch there. And then we would Blossoming Defense in response. Oh. We are 2-2, beating out Dredge 2-0 both games, and then losing to not Dredge. Let's see if we can't end this night, or in this league positive. There we go. Okay, I would love to play first. See, this is the iffy hands. Because, like, if we get to last long enough for this Inkmoth to animate and get pumped twice, so it's Waterlogged Hierarch pass, Inkmoth hold up, Spell Pierce, and then turn after is animate, scale up. We need 1 more land. We'll risk it. Opponent's thinking. Misty Rainforest cracks it, goes and gets Steam Vents, shocks it in, bolts our bird. Raider. Okay. Okay. We should now be a bit scared. Okay, so our options here are animate, hope they don't have anything. We could just swing, hold up Spell Pierce. I like that game plan. There's our stop against Electro Dominance, but now they go land into, as foretold, into Restore Balance. Or not. Cool, cool. Exiles a second Greater Gargadon. We'll land off the top here is what we want. There we go, because they are tapped out. Animate this Ink Moth, scale it up. $11 opponent. And that's the way it works. Okay, so we are facing Electro Dominance. What do we want? They're mainly a control style deck. The problem is a lot of their removal's red, so Veil doesn't really do it for us. We can bring in the Spell Sky, cut a Become Immense. They don't play creatures until Greater Gargadon comes down. We could bring in this. What blue spells do they have that we're countering, though? It's just the Ancestral Visions or As Foretold are the main ones. Stopping an As Foretold is pretty good. So we'll bring these in just in case to be on the safe side, and we can cut the Distortion Strikes because, again, they don't really play creatures. There we go. Bobble bobbles us, I'm assuming. Bobbles themselves. So they draw, they liked whatever card was on top because they did not crack. We'll crack this Wooded Foothills, get a breeding pool, shock it in, and get down this hierarch. Pass the turn. They crack their Scalding Tarn for Steam Vents. Untapped, meaning that they have the Bolt, probably. Float Blue, Thought Scour, mills themselves 2, draws a card. Okay. Interesting line from opponent. There's a Scalding Tarn. And now we've got both Spell Pierce and Mystical Dispute up. So we will hold back on the swing. They crack. Get a Stomping Grounds tapped. So here's a Misty Rainforest. Do they crack it? Or they try to stick an As Foretold, we Mystical Dispute it? Exiles Greater Gargadon. Okay. Makes me think that they have another Electro Dominance here. So we could get in for 2 Infect. I'd much rather hold up double counter magic though. I think this hand just says if we get to untap, if we get to a point where they're tapped out, we win. There's an Islet. No, because they can pay for Spell Pierce at this point. Blue Thought Scours themselves. Sure. Pulls over Assuming Spirit Guide and a Fiery Islet. We'll discard a Vines of Vastwood. There's a mountain. Chalice of the Void on 1. Because we never hit another mana. Puts our opponent in a pretty interesting spot. He lets Chalice get countered. Or they let Chalice get countered. Red, red, red. Don't like that that's triple red. Removes the time counter. Removes the time counter. So this is an Electro Dominance. Please let it target this Hierarch. X damage to any target targeted themselves. That and then restore balance. Sacrifice all lands, sacrifice all creatures. Choose 2 cards in our hand. Spellskite and Might of Old Krosa, discard the rest. Now they've got 3 turns before Gargadon comes down. We've got 3 turns to win this game. Looks like we're not going to be able to do it. Especially with draws like that. Removes the time counter from Gargadon. It comes down. We now don't have an out. Okay. Well, we know that they bring in Chalice, so we bring in Force of Vigors here. Mystical Disputes seem pretty mediocre. We'll take those back out. And run it like so. Alright, we would love to take the play here. Hand's got to turn 3. Arguably, our safer thing to do is make it turn 4. We'll go Windswept past the turn, making it a breeding pool on their instep. Because the issue is they could have Bolt, like to hold up removal since we've only got 1 threat in hand. And Simian Spirit Guide Exile Zone. Chalice on 1 right off the bat. Okay, we need a Force of Vigor. Not a Force of Vigor, but now we don't have to worry about 1-drop removal. Their only removal now is going to be Electro Dominance for 1. We cut our Become Immense, didn't we? We should have brought that back in after we saw the Chalice. That's my mistake. So we have them on a 5-turn clock. Electro dominance for 0. Makes 2 4/4s. When it has us on a 3-turn clock, we have them. Opponent happened to have Chalice. Unfortunate. They swing for 8. We kind of sort of have to just grin and bear it. Second Electro Dominance. I mean, if this is Finale of Promise. Yeah. So, like, that's just the absolute. That's just the greatest start from Electro Dominance that they could have possibly wanted. All right. A very quick league. I screwed up that last game. I should have brought back in the Become Immense and boarded out a scale up, and then we should have been more aggressive towards the Force of Vigors. Because I kept a turn 3 no interaction. Of course, it's Electro Dominance. They're going to try to get as much interaction as possible. So that's just me screwing up that matchup. The Dredge match, again, it's just, can we be faster than them? We were, so we won 2 out of our 5 games. So, does Infect still have legs? Yeah, it's not poorly positioned. Do I think that it should probably be tuned sideboard wise, and we probably want to be shaving on these Goyfs right now? Yeah. So we'll wait and see how that goes.